a bright morning. Jungkook's mother was sitting in the living room enjoying a cup of warm tea. Her eyes sparkled as she looked at the photos of her son displayed on the shelf. Since childhood, Jungkook had always been a cheerful and strong child. However, suddenly her cell phone vibrated, displaying a message from a friend who worked in the entertainment industry. "Mom, have you heard anything about Jungkook?" The message read. Jungkook's mother's heart was beating fast. Her hands were shaking as she replied, "Not yet. What's up?" Not long after, a news link came into her cell phone. She opened it and read it carefully. The news said that Jungkook had been infected with a spreading virus and was now being treated in the hospital. "Oh my God, ... She whispered softly, almost losing her balance. Her teacup fell and shattered on the floor, but she didn't care. Her mind was in turmoil, her chest tight. She hurriedly called Jungkook's manager, her voice full of anxiety. "Please tell me this isn't true. How is Jungkook?" she asked in a trembling voice. "Mom, we just got confirmation from the doctor. Jungkook is indeed infected, but he is in intensive care and is trying to recover. We don't want to panic you, but he is strong, Mom." Jungkook's mother couldn't hold back her tears. She felt like flying to her son's side immediately, but knew that this situation was impossible. With trembling hands, she dialed Jungkook's number. First ring, second ring, no answer. "Jungkook, please pick up," she whispered desperately. Her tears were getting stronger. A few minutes later, her phone vibrated. An incoming call from the number she had been waiting for. "MMA ... Jungkook's voice sounded weak but full of warmth. "My son, how are you?" he sobbed. "I'm fine, Yama. Don't cry. I'll get better soon. Don't worry, okay?" Jungkook's mother sobbed, but now there was a little relief in her heart. "Yama just wants you to get better soon, son. Don't push yourself too hard." Jungkook smiled even though he knew his mother couldn't see him. "I promise, Mom, I will recover soon." That night, even though her heart was still anxious, Jungkook's mother prayed with hope. She knew her son was a strong person, and no matter how far the distance between them, a mother's love will always be there to protect and encourage her child. She was sure that tomorrow would bring good news. The next morning, Jungkook's mother woke up early. Her mind was still filled with anxiety, but she tried to stay calm. She immediately contacted the hospital to get the latest news. A nurse reported that Jungkook's condition was improving, although he still had to undergo close observation. "You can talk to the doctor after the morning visit schedule. We will give you further news later," said the nurse kindly. After hanging up the phone, Jungkook's mother breathed a sigh of relief. Although she still couldn't hide her anxiety, she decided to contact several of her closest friends and relatives to ask for prayers. They all gave words of comfort, assuring that Jungkook would recover soon. Meanwhile, in the hospital, Jungkook stared weakly at the ceiling of his room. His body still felt tired, but his spirits remained high. He knew how worried his mother was about him, and that gave him the strength to keep fighting. In a low voice, he said to himself, "I have to get better. For Yama, for everyone who loves me." Day by day, Jungkook's condition improved. After several days of intensive care, the doctor finally allowed him to start moving little by little. His smile started to return, and his spirit grew even brighter. One morning, Jungkook's mother received a call from Jungkook's manager. "Mom, good news. The doctor said Jungkook is strong enough to receive visitors." Jungkook's mother's heart immediately jumped with joy. She quickly got ready, put on her best clothes, and rushed to the hospital. When she arrived there, she saw Jungkook, who was already able to sit up in bed, although he still looked weak. As soon as he saw his mother come in, Jungkook's eyes filled with tears. "You MMA ... he called softly. Without hesitation, Jungkook's mother immediately hugged her son tightly, pouring out all the anxiety and longing she had been holding in all this time. "Thank you for holding on, son. You are indeed a strong child." Jungkook smiled and nodded. "I will always try, Yama, for Yama and for everyone who loves me." At that moment, Jungkook's mother knew that everything would be okay. Her son would recover, and they would get through this together. With unwavering love and strength, that night, the atmosphere in Jungkook's apartment felt quieter than usual. Usually, he would spend time in the studio or practice with BTS members. But this time his body felt weak and his temperature increased. His throat was dry, and his head felt heavy. His manager, who realized Jungkook's unusual condition, immediately called his mother in visit without thinking. The mother immediately took the first train too. So her heart was restless imagining her son, who was usually strong and full of energy, now lying weak. A few hours later, the mother arrived at Jungkook's apartment. As soon as the door was opened by his manager, she immediately approached her son, who was sleeping on the sofa with a pale face. With great affection, she touched Jungkook's forehead and frowned when she felt the scorching heat. "Gosh, jeon Jungkook, why didn't you tell me you were sick?" His mother's soft voice sounded full of worrying. Jungkook opened his eyes slowly and smiled weakly. "Yama, since when are you here?" "Just now. Your manager called. Why didn't you tell me?" Jungkook just smiled a little. "I don't want to worry, Mom. I just have a common cold ... The mother sighed as she stroked her son's hair. Even a common cold can be dangerous if not taken care of properly. Come on, sit down first. I'll make some porridge and warm tea." With great care, the mother prepared a bowl of warm chicken porridge. Jungkook ate it slowly, while his mother continued to watch him like when he was little. After that, he was given medicine and helped to lie back down. That night, the mother did not go to sleep right away. She sat on the side of Jungkook's bed, making sure her son slept comfortably. Every now and then she fixed the blanket that had fallen and touched Jungkook's forehead to make sure his fever was gradually going down. In the morning, Jungkook woke up with a slightly fresher body. He moved his body slowly and found his mother asleep on a chair near his bed. His heart felt warm seeing his mother, who was willing to accompany him all night. He then got up slowly and covered his mother with his own blanket. "Mom must be tired," he muttered. Not long after, the mother woke up and smiled seeing Jungkook, who now looked better. "How are you feeling?" Jungkook nodded. "Much better, Yama. Thank you for coming and taking care of me." His mother stroked his cheek lovingly. "Of course. No matter how big you are now, you are still Yama's little boy." That day, Jungkook rested more, accompanied by his mother, who always made sure he got the best. The warmth and affection of a mother is indeed the best medicine that cannot be replaced by anything.